Hi there, Julia Wong, CBC National. This is a question for the Premier. A report into the Jasper wildfire response says the province regularly requested information and tried to make decisions. The report also says that incident commanders spent more time managing inquiries than directing the response. Did the province make the situation worse in Jasper? Premier, we absolutely did not. I'm very disappointed that this report politicizes what should actually be considered a very successful example of unified command and support between municipal, provincial, and federal governments. As you know, the Alberta government provided $181 million in support through disaster recovery program funding and evacuation payments. We supported the Red Cross, provided tourism support, re-established the Jasper Food Bank, granted property tax relief, rebuilt a seniors complex, and supported regional transit services. I think it's important to understand that this was a federal fire. It took place in a federal park and was initially handled by Parks Canada. We remained on standby, awaiting their request for supplies and support, which they ultimately made. We only moved into unified command after the fire had breached Jasper and burned down one-third of the town. I would have liked to see two things in this report. First, a recognition that part of the reason for the tragic circumstances was due to poor forest management practices, specifically the failure to remove deadwood. Second, I wish the report acknowledged that unified command should have been requested sooner. We were not asked to provide support until after the town had already burned down. So whatever they're trying to do to deflect blame, I'm not impressed. I believe the city owes us an apology. We want to work collaboratively with our municipal and federal partners, but pointing fingers at others instead of reflecting on how to improve their own response would have been a far better outcome, especially as we approach the one-year anniversary. Reporter clarification. And just to clarify my first question, did the province at any point during the wildfire response receive feedback that it was interfering with the response? Premier. Not at all. In fact, when we showed up, we brought equipment, tankers, and personnel. A firefighter tragically lost his life in the process of responding. We deployed drones to monitor hotspots for weeks afterward to ensure safe reentry. At no point did they ever say they didn't want our help. So this report comes as a complete shock. It's unfair, it's untrue, and I would like them to withdraw it. Reporter follow-up. As I mentioned, the report states the province was a hindrance. Your joint statement and what you've said now make it clear that you disagree. Obviously, both can't be true. With that said, how will the province ensure things go better next time? Premier. Let me tell you what's happening right now. There's currently a fire at the Cold Lake Air Base, and we have an agreement with the federal government that makes us the first responder. We also have mutual aid agreements with First Nations communities where the federal government agrees we're better positioned to respond. What I'd like to see is Parks Canada recognize that we have greater capability and more experience. They fight dozens of fires a year. We fight hundreds. So I'd ask Parks Canada to set ego aside and work with us on a mutual aid agreement, allowing us to move to unified command much faster. If you look at many of the major fire events we've had in this province, a lot of them started in federal parks due to poor wildfire management. Closing YouTube outro, edited for grammar and clarity. This was today's important update. We want to make it absolutely clear that our videos never include any kind of misinformation. Canadian Nexus is dedicated to bringing you verified and trustworthy news from across Canada, covering politics, society, and everything in between. If you value truth and facts, you're in the right place. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, and subscribe to the Canadian Nexus channel. Thank you.